right, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Thaddeus. Shout out to our producer, Boy Band John. What's up, John? All right, shout out to our sponsors. First off, if you go online, defendhawaii.com, do all your Christmas shopping, defendhawaii.com, order whatever you want. Upon checkout, use promo code ATBPOD. And you'll receive 15% off your purchase order. So go to Defend Hawaii, get yourself some new gear or some good Christmas presents. Also, Detail Garage Hawaii. If you want to detail your car, get soaps, waxes, or anything like that, anything to make your car look nice, go to detailgaragehawaii.com. Same thing, promo code ATBPOD upon checkout, 15% off your whole entire purchase order. Last but not least, we have Hawaii Candy Company. So same thing, go to hawaiicandycompany.com. They have all these lihimui candies with nerds and gushers, and they're coming out with a new Christmas flavor pack. And I'm supposed to get that pretty soon. So I'll give BBJ some of those, but hawaiicandycompany.com, ATB pod upon checkout, and you'll get 10% off your entire purchase order. Okay, right on. Here we go. So this week on Above the Bridge, my guest was one of my Taekwondo students and now is a tattoo artist in Arizona. I'm super close with his uncle, and yeah, I'm kind of excited for this guy. His name is KOA PAGAOA, also known as Tattoos by Koa. What's up, brother?
How you doing? How you doing?
What's up, man? You need more energy.
Dude, I'm trying. I've been dead, man. I don't even know what I got. Took a COVID test. It's not COVID, but it's been killing me.
Who you been kissing, man? No. How you been, bro? I haven't seen you in like decades. It's pretty trippy. I've known you since you were like, when did you start Taekwondo with us? It was like you're like 5 years old, huh?
That was when I was Pilau boy.
You was a little killer back then. You had the heart of a lion, and you always tried hard. So as a teacher, when I would see kids that always train hard and kind of did what they're supposed to do, but gave it that little effort, you could tell which ones was going to be successful in life. And seeing you as an adult and hearing what you're all about and talking to your uncle and stuff is kind of cool to see what I thought would happen, maybe not in what you're doing now, but I knew you'd be successful. So it's kind of cool, bruh. So I need to kind of catch up with you. So you're born and raised in Kaneohe, Grad Castle, and what happened after that?
I just needed to do something, you know. It was either grow up and get a job, start paying rent, go to the military, or go to school. So I didn't know what else to do. I decided to go to school out here for mechanics, and it just wasn't for me. You know, school was never my thing. So I ended up getting an apprenticeship while I was out here. Stumbled upon that chance because I didn't want to go to class one day. Then just basically never looked back. You know, finished my apprenticeship with the help of my parents and stuff like that, and ever since then, I've just been grinding, doing the tattoo thing and trying to get further in that career, you know?
Well, that's pretty cool. So what, you moved to Arizona to go to school, like for college?
Yeah. So a lot of the Hawaii boys go to that school, the UTI, the mechanic school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wasn't for me. I found out some stuff that, you know, not trying to say don't go there, but it wasn't for me.
Hey, school's not for everybody, bro.
Yeah,
I had a rough go. So what, as a kid, you were always drawing and shit? Like, how did you know you had a talent for art? Because, I mean, you cannot just pick up a needle and start blasting. Like, you got to draw on paper and kind of figure out. Like, for me, I know I cannot draw, so I'm never going to be a tattoo artist. You know what I mean?
I was a board drawer, you know. I never liked school. I never paid attention. I wasn't always the best student. So I would just draw when I was bored. I wouldn't pay attention. So that's kind of where it started for me. I think it was kind of my way to escape. So I guess that's where it started for me, if I had to say, you know.
So as an apprentice, like, what is that? Like, how does that work out?
Basically, you should just do whatever they tell you to do. It kind of sucks. Not even gonna lie, man. It's like
You're the
scrub the
good
floor.
at
Yeah, yeah.
it.
Scrub the floor with a toothbrush. Go pick up everybody's lunch. Fuck it, whatever. You just gotta do it all. No questions asked.
So how did you stumble into getting an apprenticeship?
So I didn't want to go to class one day, and a friend of mine was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go get tattooed. Do you want to go with me?" And I was like, "Nah, bro, I gotta go to class." And I called him back like 5 minutes later, and I was like, "Nah, just pick me up, bro. I ain't trying to go to class." So I was with him getting tattooed, and it was something that I've always wanted to do. I just never knew how. Um,
Did you have any tats by then?
yeah, I had a couple,
Oh,
not
okay.
too many. And I just said, I was like, "Hey, how do you do an apprenticeship thing?" And they were like, "Well, we're looking for one right now." And I was like, "All right, well, what do I got to do?" They told me what I had to do, and then I came in, got the spot, and just started doing that.
So how long does that take, like before they give a needle to you and stuff like that?
Apprenticeships are weird. They can take years. I mean, it's really up to your mentors and how far they think you are. I mean, if it takes 5 years, it takes 5 years. Nowadays, I mean, realistically, it doesn't normally take that long. Not in America, anyway. Um, but I'd say out here, normally you're looking at least a year before they let you tattoo.
Oh,
Um,
that's crazy.
but it's just whenever they're ready. You know, that's the hardest part. I think is going into it and busting your ass every day. You just don't know if it's even paying off. That's the hardest part.
And what, you get paid to apprentice, or is it you
Uh,
just earning your stripes?
yeah, I mean, you're getting paid in knowledge. You got to think
Yeah, yeah.
what I was taught, I get to use for the rest of my life anywhere in the
Hmm.
world. So now I can use that to provide for myself. So
Oh, that's pretty good way to think of it. It's like
yeah,
education. It's like
yeah,
going to school.
people go to college for years and get put in debt that they never pay off, and they might not even use that degree. So
Yeah, for
yeah, you
sure.
got to work for free, and you got to deal with all that stuff from everybody, but at the end of the day, it's worth it.
So you got like hazed and had to do fucking crazy shit.
Yeah, I had to do some pretty stupid stuff. I mean, they mess with you and stuff like that. Luckily, I never had like real old school people. I mean,
Oh,
so they didn't do some crazy stuff, but I've heard some stories and I'm like, man, I don't know if I could have did that.
was it? What kind of stories were like the shit they scared you with?
No, I mean, it's not even that it was scary, but it was just like it doesn't necessarily go with like who I am. There's guys who like in their apprenticeship, their mentors would make them go and like fight bums for fun.
Oh
Like,
shit.
yeah, like just doing stupid shit or like wear a bikini and go outside and hold a sign. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, it's just like real kind of hazing, like
yeah,
frat house kind.
like nah, bro, you're tripping, dog.
Oh, but like I guess that kind of teaches you to have thick skin and to kind of handle any kind of situation. It's like, oh, I can handle a customer getting mad at me. I
Yeah,
was wearing a bikini waving sign yesterday. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, it's weird because even through the stuff that I had to deal with or stuff that I've seen other apprentices go through, it's kind of crazy how everything has its own lesson. So
yeah.
it makes sense in a way, and it shows who wants it, because there's a lot of people who come in and say they want an apprenticeship and leave within like a week. They're like, nah, this ain't for me.
Weeds out the scrubs, huh?
Pretty much.
It's like Taekwondo. Everybody wants a black belt, but it takes a certain kind of person to earn it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Nobody wants to put in the time and the work, I guess, right?
Yeah. Nah, that's smart. Weeds out the like I said, it weeds out the scrubs. So after the year, they put a needle in your hand and you kind of, how is that? Like, I always wanted to know because I have tattoos and always I like the culture. I always go to the expos and I read about it and stuff. And always wanted to know the process, how one becomes an artist. Not that I would ever want to be one, but I kind of want to know how it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, like I said, there's not really like a time. It's just kind of you go in one day and they're like, okay, today's your chance. Um, honestly, for me, I kind of got lucky. Two of my mentors left, so they needed a guy. So they kind of just they were like, "Hey, today's your time," you know. And I was like, "What?" So it kind of just worked out for me. They had already been letting me practice and tattoo my own friends and everything.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I just kind of got let go sooner than I was supposed to. Uh, by unfortunate circumstances, but it worked out for me, you know. So
Yeah. Seems
it's
like God puts things in line for you and it's been working out.
yeah, yeah.
So when you started, like I heard like sometimes they practice on like pig skin or like synthetic arm or some shit. Like how like what do you have to learn before you even start? You know what I mean?
Um, like as far as the tattooing itself,
Yeah, and then I'm sure there's like medical protocol you gotta follow so there's no cross contamination or
yeah, yeah. So you got to do like your bloodborns and stuff like that, you know, and then they'll teach you how to section off or wrap up your materials and stuff like that to keep clean and all the other kind of prep things for it.
yeah.
And after that, you know, it's the I think like coming up to learning to it, they had me like tattoo on grapefruits and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Um, and then after that, it was just bring in your friends, whoever's kind of dumb enough to get messed up.
Hey man, I got tattooed at Kapuna Hala with one needle and thread. Like I don't even want to show you, but
Yeah, yeah,
you might
man.
have to do some cover-ups. But yeah, I mean, that's what we did when we were young. Even when I worked at the gas station, we used to make ones out of like machines out of stomper motors and stuff. But
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy to think like anybody can buy a tattoo gun off online and call themselves a tattoo artist.
yeah,
But that shit's scary because you don't know if they're licensed or what. Like they could be doing all their home.
yeah, yeah,
It's just shit that you got to learn to have a good protocol. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to, like you said, bloodborne pathogens and cross contamination and that kind of shit.
yeah. I mean, a lot of people start off, you know, we call it scratching. So it's like when you start off in your kitchen or in somebody's room, But
Yeah.
some of the best guys out there started like that, So it's kind of like, but I don't recommend it because you don't learn all that other stuff. You create bad habits. So it's like
Yeah.
you got then breaking those habits is hard. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't recommend it. I definitely recommend an apprenticeship. Plus, it helps you build more knowledge, even on like the business side or the
Oh
design
yeah.
side, not just tattooing. So
So when you first started, were you doing custom shit or just like flashes?
yeah, I mean, when I first started, it was just do whatever. When they tell you somebody comes in, it is what it is. Like, I want this letter. You're like, all right, I want this picture. You're like, okay, but you have to keep it small because you can't do all these other crazy stuff. It's weird. Like, even though the technique is normally the same, I don't, maybe it's the nerves or something like that, but you got to kind of build yourself up to these crazy pieces. Most times, some people are just crazy like that and they can get down, but that wasn't me. I had to build up for sure.
Well, shit. I mean, you're putting something on somebody's body permanently. Have you ever had somebody like salty with one of your designs or like what the fuck is this? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Um, yeah, but it more happens to me like more recently than in the beginning of my career, which is kind of weird. Um, I think it's a money thing for most people, man, because now I
oh,
charge more.
really?
Yeah, so I think they're just complaining because I
They
got
want
so
a
much
lower
to do,
rate.
man.
That's their way to get the price reduced. That like this is fucked up. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, bro, come on, like you can't even lie to me right now.
I always thought like, what do you tell them? Like, oh, that like you blast somebody and they're not happy with it, and it's like, sorry, like what do you do? Like, it's not
Yeah,
like you can.
in the beginning, I've done like the occasional misspelling or maybe the wrong numbers, but
You didn't misspell a word. No
but
regrets.
I mean, but honestly, it wasn't even my fault. Like I'll tell people to write it down, right? And
Yeah.
and they'll write it down. Then I copy it exactly, and then they come back, and I'm like, "Are you sure this is correct?" And I was like, "I'll tell everybody, I'm a tattoo artist, not an English major. Like, make sure this is correct. This is why I have you write it, so you can't blame me." And they're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, it's all good." So then I'll do it, and they'll come back, and they're like, "It's wrong." I'm like, "Bro, I told you." But then and then I'm like, "Bro, that's your mom's name. How'd you not get it right?"
How'd you misspell that?
But then I gotta fix it. That's my job. It's my name on the line. But
Yeah.
yeah, recently I've had a couple people. They're like, "I don't like it," and I'm like, "Why?" And they're like, "It looks bad." I'm like, "No, it doesn't." Like, like I just had some guy and he was like saying that stuff, and it was about his wife's tattoo, and he was like, "My wife loves her tattoo, but I don't like it." And I was like, "So what's the problem?"
I never tattoo you.
I was like, "Bro, what?"
That's crazy. It's like you gotta try. Yeah, you can't keep everybody happy.
Yeah.
But
No.
what would be the worst experience you had like in a situation like that?
Um, man, I don't even. I- I'd have to say this girl that I just had to deal with, but I don't even think she's kind of intense, man. So I don't even know if I can talk about it because I feel like she'd be watching and then she'll just like start some stuff. You know what I mean?
He's talking shit about me on that
Yeah,
podcast in Hawaii.
I feel like I got.
Nobody watches this.
No, you'd be surprised, man. I'm not.
She is stalking. Well, you must
Oh,
have fucked her up pretty bad.
dude, it was crazy, and I was in awe the whole time, dude. So,
Well, I mean, live and learn, and I guess you're gonna come into situations where somebody's not happy, but for the
yeah.
most part, it's been working out for you. How long have you been doing it?
A little over 7 years. August made 7 years for me, so a little over.
Oh, that's a while. And I imagine every year goes past, your talent gets better, or you pick up little tips that make your art better. Because I remember seeing Louis' tat when he first got it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. But I see your Instagram post now, and it's like the level is way up. You know what I mean? Like Louis tat aged out already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, if you think you know it all, you're never going to keep growing. And it's sad because I see a lot of people do it, and there's people who's been tattooing twice as long as me, 3 times longer than me, and you see them stop progressing because they don't want to learn anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to where I have a lot of tattooers that's been in the game a lot longer than me, and they'll sit me down and teach me things. Something as simple as, uh, where to put more black, like just little things, but everything adds up.
Oh, that's good. At least you're being a sponge. And what, you pass that knowledge on to other people, or you
Um, you
still?
know, I believe in everybody. There's enough to go around. So if people ask me, then I'll share it. I don't normally like to go around and pretend I know it all. So
Yeah, yeah.
if they ask, then I'll be like, oh yeah, and I'll kind of let them know what I've learned. But other than that, I just kind of let people go. Some people get offended too, that nobody wants to hear that they can work on stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody
So
has
wait,
to work on.
would you ever think about taking up an apprentice?
I've thought about it. I'm open to it. It's just hard, man. Finding the right one is like,
Hmm.
because you can take on 100, but then if only one of them makes it, then what's the point? You know what I mean? I'd rather bring in one that's more that you see that, like you were saying earlier, that you see something in them. That's what
Yeah.
that's what I would want. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I guess you don't want to take on responsibility too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's your name out there too. They'll be like, oh, who who apprenticed you? And then they'll say my name, and they'll be like, what? And I'm like, nah.
Well, in the community, word of mouth and name recognition is pretty strong. Like, I mean, you know who's like in Hawaii, you know who's the good artist, you know who got the heavy hand or the like who's not good. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
once that title sticks to you, it's hard to get out of that stigmatism. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's for sure.
So how was it being a local brother from Hawaii going to Arizona and then now trying to start a business? I guess there's a lot of Polynesians in Arizona, but
Yeah.
how is that? I'm like, I have no idea. I never been there, but
So it was weird, you know, because like I said, I came up here for that school, so I was placed with all the Hawaii boys.
okay.
Um, and you know how Hawaii boys are, you know, so they're all crazy. We learn real quick, you know, that it's not the same out here. I think it was probably a month and a half in here when I first got a gun pulled on me. So
Oh shit.
then it was like 2 months when my boy got stabbed, and
What
yeah.
the hell were you guys doing? Raising hell in Arizona.
Oh man, I try and tell these, you know, because the boys they still come out, and when I meet them, I'm like, yo, you guys gotta calm down, man. It's not the same. Like, it's a different lifestyle out here. Like, but it was fun, man. I mean, you learn difference in culture and stuff like that. Um, I think you learn to appreciate where we come from a lot more too, though, because of our culture
Mm.
and how we our respect and how we treat people. And I think it helped me learn a lot about myself, and it helped me grow up a lot, actually, like very fast. Seeing how much we have coming from where we're from, and I think a lot of people from Hawaii don't realize that.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, you don't think about it and you don't appreciate it until it's not there. And I'll always feel the same way. Like it's there's you go to the mainland and like people won't even let you in the lane. Like, there's no aloha.
Yeah,
And then you miss it or you realize how important or how much a part of your whole lifestyle is. And I mean, I guess you can kind of bring that to where you're at, but you won't experience it without kind of
yeah.
yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I mean, I have like people locking their doors on me just because I'm tattooed. Um, I've had a cop pull a gun on me, like
What'd you do, man? You can't
nothing.
be like you can't be all innocent in all these situations. You have to done something, you know. Kind
Nah,
of.
nah,
Watch, your mom's gonna hear this.
nah, you know, man, I didn't do nothing. He pulled me over for some traffic stuff, and that was its own story. I was tripping out too. And what was crazy was he saw my ID, and so he seen my name, and he was like, "Yo, you're from Hawaii?" And I was like, "Yeah." And as soon as he found out I was from Hawaii, he was like, "Yo, that's what's up. I was stationed there." This and he became my best friend. I was like, "Bro, can you put that gun away real quick?"
He like tell you, yeah,
It's
that's
intense.
insane. Well, in
Yeah,
Arizona, the gun rules are kind of way more relaxed. I got some friends that are all into guns that actually moved there because of that. And
yeah.
to me, that's scary. Well, I guess it's kind of safe too. Like like nothing's gonna pop off because everybody's on an equal playing field. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, you'll think twice because you know out here you don't even need a concealed carry license to conceal your gun. As long as you're 21 and you're an Arizona resident, you can go buy a handgun and you can conceal it. So people think twice because you never know who has what. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But it's like any other place. You know, if you're looking for trouble, and you're gonna
Yeah.
find it. And I think that's why when we first moved out here, we were getting into stuff. You know, it's because everybody's out partying. You're around different crowds. And some of these people out here grew up a little bit different. So,
Yeah.
you
They're
know,
not used to local custom or yeah.
yeah. Like when my homie got stabbed, you know, that was a bunch of local boys out pretending they were in Waikiki. And me and my other homies were chilling in the back because we were like, bro, like, I ain't even trying to be a part of that. And when we walked up, we actually didn't even know our boy was stabbed, man. Like, we didn't find out till the next day when my other homie lifted him out of bed. We thought he was just drunk because when we walked up, they were like, "Oh, he got falsed," and we were like, "Bruh,
Oh.
like we told you guys stop acting stupid," because he was the one that was trying to stop them.
Oh.
Then when they picked him up in the bed the next day, there was blood all over his bed. And then when they took his shirt off, they found the hole. So they found out that he got stabbed and he ended up in the hospital. He's good, he's alive, but
Oh, that's dangerous, man.
yeah, so it's just like Hawaii kids, they think like, oh, you can just scrap and then it's done. But like out here,
Oh,
if you have a beef, like some of these kids they'll just be like, go to their car real quick or just pull some shit out. Nah,
that's ins-
I don't even do house parties. I don't go around none of that stuff, man. I'm like, nah.
that's smart, bro. Just do your work, get it over with. So are you married and shit, or do you have kids, or
Nah,
oh, you're living the dream then?
just work.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, how old are you now?
27.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you're getting old, huh?
Little bit, bro. Little bit.
Crazy.
Yeah, I remember you, and you were small when you came to us, and you come from good stock. Your mom's a very strong woman. Like she's definitely a strong person, and I grew up with your uncle and kind of seeing your cousins grow up, and you guys all have that same mentality with that hustle and that kind of inner strength. And yeah, I never did worry about you, you know what I mean? And I never really knew your brother when he was that young, but just watching him now is like he has that same kind of it factor. You guys are a little different.
Yeah, I think for me it definitely took moving away to grow up and see things from a different perspective. Um and like I said, see how good you got it cuz I was a crazy kid, being stupid. Always wanted to party and drink and get all crazy and now I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Hey, with what is that? To be old and wise, you gotta be young and crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm gonna be the oldest, smartest person you ever met.
Yep. Yep.
But going to Arizona and doing that, like, I guess it forces you out of your comfort zone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you kept martial arts going, like that's been a staple in your life. You still train and stuff like that.
I do it to kind of help me cut some weight. I keep getting fat, so I gotta try and stay in shape. So just as a hobby, I go to the gym and if I'll set up like a fight every now and then, because then it gives me a deadline to lose a certain amount of weight. Nothing serious. I mean, my family, so it's just kind of been around our whole life, but
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make a career out of it just to stay healthy.
So what you do? Like just kickboxing smokers or like full shows or?
Yeah, so kickboxing, sanctioned stuff, so with IKF and stuff like that.
Mm.
So
Hey, nothing beats going in the ring and competing, bro. That rush is next
yeah,
level. That's
it's
a
good.
good feeling.
Yeah, it's good fun. I mean, if anything, keeps you humble too.
Yeah,
That's one
definitely.
reason I go to the gym too, is to kind of remind me of where I came from, and
Yeah.
when I was on that right path before I started partying and doing all that stuff, it kind of brings me back to that time. So
That's good. That means muscle memory, or you come from good stock, you know what I mean? Like you got
yeah,
good roots. And I know you do because you trained with us. So I know the mentality that we had our kids kind of focus on. And
yeah.
yeah. Plus two, your uncle, like he cornered me a couple of times, and he's having him in your corner. He's telling me to pants my opponent and all kind of dumb shit.
It's crazy, man. I don't think a lot of people realize how crazy it is unless you know him.
Yeah, I know him, and I knew. Yeah, what, bro? Honestly, your uncle has been one of the most, one, not the most, but a big positive influence in my life. And
Yeah.
working for him, cleaning carpets and training with him, and um, yeah, he mentored me a lot in life, just with his mentality and
Mhm.
his work ethic and his hustle. Like he's always hustling something,
Yeah.
and he does it with a smile and laughter and fun. So
Yeah.
I always take that with me with whatever I do. Like he's definitely somebody that I look up to this day. I just seen him like a couple days ago trying
Same,
to,
same.
yeah,
Yeah, he has a different way of loving too. Sometimes, you know, um,
yeah,
because even when I was trying to figure out if I was gonna drop out of school or not, I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know how I was gonna bring it up to my parents because they were the ones supporting me, and I knew that if they didn't help me out, I would have to just move home, and then I wouldn't even be able to tattoo.
yeah,
So I called him, and I've never had like a conversation with him like that before, and I was like, "Hey, unks, like I'm just got a question for you." He's like, "What's up?" I was like, "I'm thinking about dropping out of school. I don't really know how to tell my mom or what she would say. Like, what do you think I should do?" And he was like, "Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told Lewis." He was like, "Drop out if you want, but if you do, you're on your own." I was like,
yeah.
"Damn, okay."
Well,
But
Louis is real, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And by that, you know, he meant like, hey, if you want to make grown decisions, you know what I mean, then you need to figure out how to fight for it and get where you want to get, you know. So
yeah. I remember he bought his house when he was like early 20s. Like, it's unheard of back then, you know what I mean? And yeah, he's definitely somebody that be, made me who I am in more ways than one, definitely. Hope he don't listen to this. His head's gonna get all big.
just edit that part out.
So what? You're gonna start competing. Your brother fights, and he's kind of building his name up in the MMA scene. And
Yep.
he fought in one of the shows that we kind of host. And bruh, he's been getting super popular. And like I seen on ESPN, he's punching Nagano in it, like in his stomach. I'm like, shit, that's Puni. Like how does that happen? Just because where he's training and stuff. And
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you know you just end up in the right places around the right people, you know, and it's not like he's some scrub. You know, he's a good kid too with a good head on his
yeah,
shoulders, and I think a lot of people want to see that from him. You know, so they like to also put him in those positions to where he can succeed. Um,
yeah.
you know, especially with all those Hawaii guys out there that's made it further than him. You know, and I'm sure they all want to see him grow as well as the other Hawaii kids coming up. You know, so
Yeah.
that's good. You know.
So what, when you compete, he comes and helps train you or
My last one, I did fly him out actually.
hmm.
Um, so I flew him out like the week before, and he helped me with a couple things. Obviously, he's at a real good gym, you know, so he kind of tightened, excuse me, tightened a couple things up for me, um, and helped me cut weight and everything. Ate some chicken piccata the day before my weigh-ins and made me pay for it, but but it is what it is, you know.
So what, you thinking about trying to be able to compete again
I might. I've been thinking about it recently, trying to figure out my work schedule. I gotta lose
after the holidays, huh?
some more weight. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for me, that's always, you know, it helps me get that goal. So I'll probably do it again sometime soon.
Oh, that's awesome. So tattoo wise, when are you gonna be able to come to Hawaii and kind of showcase your talents here? Because I'm sure people you know would want to get ink done by you and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we've been waiting for this whole COVID thing to get fixed, man.
Hmm.
We've had our booth set for the tattoo convention out there since before COVID. So excuse
Oh,
me,
is
one.
that through Danny? Danny? He runs
Yeah,
a
yeah,
tattoo. Oh, okay.
the expo.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, But when COVID shut it all down, you know, they've been pushing it back and back and back. So we're
yeah.
just waiting. We'll be out there whenever it's time.
So where do you tattoo out of in Arizona?
I tattoo at a Omink Gallery. We
Okay.
have two locations. I'm at the Goodyear one.
And is there local artists there too, or
Uh, not at not at where I'm at, but there's a bunch of Hawaii people out here. So
so would you say most of your clients are like local people that moved to Arizona or with local ties or just
uh,
randoms?
no, I actually don't have too many people from Hawaii. I got a couple, but a lot of them they like the tribal and stuff like that, and I don't really do
Yeah.
that. So they go to like the other Hawaii guys, and sometimes they'll hit me up and they're like, "Oh, I want a tribal," and I'll send them to them, you know. I don't really do that. So
So
yeah,
what's your specialty?
I do like a lot of black and gray realistic, like high contrast style. And then I do
Hmm.
like that lettering and then the lined flower stuff that the girls like, you know. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much all I do now.
And you're expanding your kind of portfolio that in that direction.
Yeah, I mean I built a pretty solid clientele now to where I don't really have to venture out. I can kind of pick and choose if I want to do something.
Oh,
Um,
that's good.
so definitely, you know, blessed to be able to do that because I don't have to sit there and do every little thing that walks through the door anymore.
Mm.
Um, and I'm busy enough to be able to choose if I even want to do something based on the subject matter, not even the style. You know, I'm booked out until like March next year. So
Oh, that's awesome. And what, you work 5 days a week, 6 days a week?
um, right now it's like 6 days a week doubles, but I'm getting tired, man. So next year I'm probably gonna bring it down to like 4 or 5 days a week.
Make some time for yourself, huh?
Yeah, time to
Watch when you get a wife and kids, bro. You're gonna work like 2 days a week. Or you're gonna have to work more for support them.
just to
Seven
get out
days.
the house.
Yeah. So wait, if you're tattooing that much, like you ever worry about getting like carpal tunnel and that kind of stuff?
Ah, man, you know, it's already starting. It's kind of crazy because I'm still young. So that's actually been making me real nervous lately. You know, I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? Because if I'm already in pain, like, how long am I gonna be able to last? You know, yeah. One of my
Yeah, because
one of
my
my
artist like would tell me like, oh, I'm gonna open a bar and quit tattooing, and I'm like, why? He's like, oh, carpal tunnel, and it's like my hands are sore, my arm, and it's like how do you stop that? I know they have like more ergonomic needles and stuff like that, but you still got to do it. You know what I mean? It's
yeah. I mean,
I
I
guess
get like scraping done and stuff like that, but it only lasts for so long. You know.
yeah. What about like acupuncture or
I never tried that. I wanna try to do that. The dry needle with the shocks and stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Kind of
Or
want to
those
try it.
Chinese style where they stick it in your arm and light incense, or I don't know.
You know,
Some Mr. Miyagi shit.
gotta go see the lady at the massage place.
Yeah. But I mean, eventually, like you're gonna get older. Like I'm sure a lot of the older tattoo artists must have issues with that because that vibration is intense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, even that, even just your back, you know, from the way you're sitting,
Hmm.
I feel like an old man sometimes, you know.
So how long do you blast it? Like in a day? Like what is your normal kind of
I mean,
hourly of actually working?
normally I like to go in from 10 o'clock, leave by 5, and that's, you know, that's all prep time, breaks, everything like that. But lately I've been going in at 10 and leaving at like 9, 10. So it's
Mm.
been
So
long
you do
day.
like how many people in like a day on an average?
One or two.
It's just long sessions.
Yeah, yeah, long sessions. So but I've been trying to focus on keeping my mind right, you know. So that's why
Yeah.
next year I'm just gonna cut it down to one person a day. Excuse me, unless it's something small, I might squeeze somebody in for a small tattoo. Sometimes I'll do them, you know.
So your big tattoos, like how long would a session be? Like say I'm gonna do a sleeve. You couldn't blast a whole sleeve in a day, right? They gotta come back, right?
Yeah, and normally I'd say I like to do anywhere from 4 to 6 hours on a person. By then I'm pretty burnt out on top of that piece, and you know my mind's kind of over it. So then I'll just send them home and have them come back. So however far I can kind of get in that time,
Mm.
then I'll have them come back. Plus, it's hard on them, man. That's a lot of pain to deal with for a long time.
See, for me, I wish they could just blast it like one time. You know what I mean? I hate the in between. Like after one or two sessions, you can kind of see what it's looking like, but you walking around with a half done like ink. So it's like, come on. Like I wouldn't mind, but I like you don't want the artist to be burnt out and blasting your arm, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Or
Then you just start rushing.
unmotivated.
Plus,
Yeah,
your skin can only handle so much too. You know,
that's true.
if you force your skin to take more, then you're gonna have worse healing. Then you gotta redo it,
Hmm.
touch it up, stuff like that. So
So what's the process? Like you draw on the person's canvas, or you gotta do the stencil? Like how does it work? Like what's the process from start to finish?
Now it's pretty easy nowadays because everybody has their iPads. You know what I mean? So we just get everything ready on the iPad. Um, then from
So you
there,
draw on the iPad?
yep, yep. You
Oh,
can
that's pretty
take
cool.
your iPad, do everything right on there. Then you just stencil your stuff, lay it on them, tattoo them, let them heal up. That's it. It's like you don't have to do these long drawings like you used to anymore. So I mean, some people
Oh.
do. They like that old school pen on paper, but nah, I rather just use my iPad way quicker.
Oh, so from the iPad you can make a stencil like immediately.
Yep. Yeah, you can just print it out and then run it through the stencil machine.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah.
So what about like if you have multiple sessions, you just get to make the same stencil again, or you just kind of know?
Um, Most people are they're gonna set it up on the tattoo to where they can come back in. You know, whether they just do all the lines first,
Oh,
um, or they'll do like one section of it and then add on the next time. But
oh, so you can just do the shading and that kind of stuff.
yeah, so you just plan on, kind of depending on what you got to do, you can plan on how you're gonna do it.
So what I want to know is like, how's your hand, bro? You get the heavy hand where you hit marrow, or you get the soft touch?
You know,
I had both, so I know the difference. Like I had
yeah,
my guy is tattoo rich, and right, he has a velvet hand and he can go. But I had the kind where I'm like, bruh, you hitting my bone. Like I know that's bone. Like
I've only had one person tell me that I had a heavy hand, and their friend looked right at him and told him that they were tripping. They were like, "You're tripping. This guy has the lightest hand I've ever gotten tattooed by." So I don't know. I mean, everybody's different, right? I don't think I do, but
could be that guy's just on Pantia.
yeah, it was only one person. So
So as a tattoo artist, like what else do you do for marketing? Because I know word of mouth is heavy, but what do you do for marketing? Just social media, or like how do you get your art out there for people to be like, oh, I want to check this guy? Um, I know, what is it like? Expos too kind of give you a lot of publicity. Huh?
yeah. So for me, I'd say 90% of mine is Instagram. That's pretty much all I
Oh,
use. Um, I also got a tattoo Tinder. You'd be surprised it works.
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
ass and tattoo.
excuse me. Yeah, so I put like my tattoos on there and then I'll just swipe on top of everybody. But you'd be surprised, man. I made a lot of money off of my tattoo Tinder. It's kind of crazy. They're like,
That's
"So are
pretty
you here
cool.
for just marketing? Or are you looking for somebody?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm just marketing." They're like, "Oh, okay."
You do with both. Nah, I don't-
Like it worked. People laugh, but I'm like, I don't think you guys realize how much money I made off of this tattoo Tinder. So I'm gonna keep it going, you know?
Hell yeah. Whatever works. And of course, then that client becomes someone who can word of mouth, and it
Yep,
just grows. Yeah.
yep. And free promotion. So why not, right?
Do you get hit up at all by local people in Hawaii? Like, oh, so what, bro? When you coming back? Like,
I do. A lot of the times it's like, unless it's somebody that knows, say, somebody that knows me that they heard about my art. Most times it's gonna be like friends or old friends. It's hard sometimes because they always want like a deal and stuff like that. And I'm
oh yeah, everybody's like, come on,
like,
hook it up.
this is what I do for a living now.
Yeah.
I don't do it for fun no more, man. I can't just
Yeah.
give you some tattoos.
Yeah, exactly. That's my time is money. I'm the same way. Like I have, oh yeah. Run promotions, and everybody when we do concerts, like, oh, I can't get free tickets. I'm like, bro, where do you work? Honda. I like a free car. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't get it,
Hey, I
man.
never heard from you in like 19 years, and now you like one free ticket to the concert. Like, oh, you remember me from high school? It's like, yeah. Unreal. No, that's how it is. It is the power of no increases your value. And
Yeah,
you have to know when to say no, because people always, like you said, always trying to take advantage, and
yeah,
you have to know your worth and your value. I mean, I'm sure you can hook up certain people, or like your family or somebody that helped you achieve what you're trying to achieve versus somebody just like, oh, yeah, hook me up. You know what I mean? I was like, Brad, that's 3 hours of my day that I could be making money. It's
Yeah.
different.
And
It's different.
it's not that I don't want to, you know. If I could, I would tattoo everybody for free, but I can't, you know. Like if I
Yeah.
was rich as hell, I'd be like, yeah, whatever, I'll do it for fun, but I can't afford to do that. This is my living, so it's like, what? Why are you better than the next person? You know, if I give
Exactly.
it to you, then I have to give it to them, and I can't afford to
Yeah.
do that for everyone. So I have to be fair, you know. And I think that's what it comes down to.
But that's good. You know your value, and yeah, the power of no isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
So as an artist, have you ever tried doing just art, like paintings and that kind of stuff, or have you trying to start a brand? Like, what are your future goals? Being a tattoo artist, you have a lot of recognition. You could parlay that into other things as well. For I know some tattoo artists do that.
Yeah, so you know, this is probably one of my downfalls, but I actually don't like to do art outside anymore because it feels like I'm working. And
Mm,
then, unlike somebody's arm, I can just throw away a canvas, you know. So if
yeah.
I try and do some painting, it just drives me crazy, and I just throw it away. Um, but I am starting a brand. Um, we'll see how that takes off, but I'm trying to obviously use tattooing to help me push it further. You know,
Yeah. What's your brand?
it's NFR.
What does that stand for?
Uh, the short version is be real. I don't really have like a real meaning for it. You know, I don't think that in my opinion, a brand that is big doesn't necessarily need to have a meaning. You know, if you look at Gucci or Versace or anything like that, it's just a name and it built a hype.
Yeah.
You know, not saying that brands that have a meaning aren't good. I just I just kind of like the name, you know. I
Yep.
got the name from an old joke, but there's not really a meaning behind it.
Well, that's interesting. That's so instead of having the name depict the brand, you want the brand to define the name. That kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah, yeah, you know, like I want people to, you know, like people wear Jordans just because they're Jordans, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
at this point, you know, people buy some Gucci clothes just because it's Gucci. I want people to wear my brand just because they just want to wear it, you know, they rock with it. Um,
Shoot, I'm gonna start Thaddeus soon. See who wants to wear that.
there you go.
My daughter. That's about it.
There you go.
Well, good luck with that, bro. I think whatever you put your mind to will be successful. But yeah, the biggest thing is taking a chance, and obviously you're not scared of taking chances.
Yeah, I think too. I didn't want it to be tied down. You know, I feel like you know, say Hawaii. Hawaii has a lot of brands that are meant for Hawaiians. You know, and like has the Hawaii name and stuff like that. So a lot of people might not roll with it in the world. You know, I kind of want my
Yeah, you
to be worldwide instead of just being tied down to a section of people.
exactly. You know your demographic just to be Hawaii. It's a tiny little dot on the whole map. Like you want
Yeah,
it. You want people in Australia and the mainland and Japan to be able to relate to it because
right.
that's a global market. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
So that's kind of the big picture. You know, there's a bunch of little reasons why it doesn't make a lot of sense because people tell me all the time, you know, like, why don't you do this instead? And I'm like, I don't know. I gotta try it. You know, it feels right. That's it.
And what are your future goals tattooing? Like you want to ever open your shop or you ever want to move back to Hawaii? Like what do you got planned out for your future?
Um, to be honest, I don't want a tattoo forever. Um,
Hmm.
you know, like we were talking about earlier, the toll on the body, stuff like that. Not only that, but I don't think unless you own a shop, I don't think tattooing will be able to support you forever. You know, we don't have a retirement,
Yeah.
which is why most people want to own a tattoo shop. But for me, if you own a tattoo shop, you're limited to the amount of money that walks into the door. You know, again, it can't be worldwide.
Yeah.
unless you open more shops. But if you ask any tattoo shop owner, man, that's a headache in itself. Finding a good crew. Tattoo artists are like kids.
Oh yeah.
Everybody got their own personality. They all want to do things different. I don't even want to deal with that. So I'm trying to invest time and money in other things to where eventually I can just stay home,
Hmm.
have more freedom. At the end of the day, that's what I want is freedom, I think.
So what would you ever try and tour your art, like go to different places like Australia or like say go Vegas, set up like couple sessions there? I know a couple of tattoo artists come here from Japan and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love traveling. Right now, I'm still young, so I'm gonna be tattooing for a while, but I love traveling, man. Going to different places, whether it's for a convention or a guest spot. Definitely, I'm trying to go international too, for sure.
Well, that's cool. And then once your name gets recognized outside of there, then you have immediate bookings wherever you go. I
Yeah.
guess it's a process like anything. The harder you work, the bigger your network will be.
Yep. Yep.
So you know what you're doing, man.
Trying. It's just the gut. You just gotta follow the gut.
Sometimes you gotta not follow it.
That's true. That's true. Take
Well,
the
shoot, we've been going for about an hour. I think Boy Band John can ask us the question of the week.
Okay, good stories, bro. Good stories. Nuts.
I know. I always want to talk to tattoo artists and see like how they came up or like, because it's not like you just start off just blasting people. Like you got to be a process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, question of the week. What's the craziest tattoo you've ever done? And also the body part you had to tattoo. So,
What's the handling fee for that?
Bro, let's just say I made no money. So I never thought this story would get out like this, but
Here we go.
so me and my friends, we play this game. It's called Deal or No Deal. Basically it started because all of us like to say dumb shit, like we're gonna go do this or we're gonna do that. So after a while, we started this game to where if we say something and somebody deals you, you have to do it.
Oh,
So we were at the shop and my homie said something about like tattooing his nuts, and our other friend was like, deal, and I was like, what? I was like, why would you make that? And he was like, you're gonna do it, and I was like, well, I don't care. I know who I am, bro. I ain't afraid to tattoo no nuts. And they were like, deal, and I was like, nah, bro. So we ended up setting up. There's a video somewhere, man, and I couldn't even get myself to tattoo for like 5 minutes because I couldn't stop laughing because he had his boxers on and he was bat winging it out of the side, trying to stretching his bags out, man. We ended up just putting D apostrophe S on top of his bag, so it says D's nuts. And he passed away, man. So they were
from tattooing his nuts?
No,
Nah.
no.
You killed him.
For some other stuff, but they were talking about his funeral and shit, man. I was like, dude, and it was crazy because when he passed away, I was at the hospital that night, and it was kind of shitty how we saw him and everything. But when we left, everybody's all sad. They're in my car, I'm driving, and I just started laughing. And everybody's like, why are you laughing? They're kind of mad at me, right? And I was like, because can you imagine when the coroner sees his nuts? Everybody in the car started laughing. I was like, bro, that's crazy. So yeah, I don't even know how it happened. I mean, that's how it happened, but it just kind of rolled downhill. Next thing you know, I had nuts in my hand, tattooing.
That's nuts, bro. It's a nuts story.
It was crazy.
What if he got his bald and he can't have kids? Like,
Nah, he like stretched it out. It was crazy. He just kind of like pulled it out. Shit was all flat. I'm sitting
So
here.
when he lets it go, it's like a balloon when you let all the air out.
When he let it go, it just like right back into his boxers, man. Just it was crazy. I'll never forget that day, man.
That's insane. It's like he's stretching out a balloon, tattooing it, and then letting all the air out, and it just looks like squiggly lines.
Dude, we did the tattoo. It was bigger. You know, when we pulled it back, it was like we thought it was so big. It was it just shrunk back. Just
Oh, imagine explaining that. Oh man. So I got a new tat, bro. You wanna see?
bro, it was crazy, man.
When you
And
come
then-
to Hawaii, I think I'm gonna do mine on. John, no, you do the left one, I'll do the right one. No way.
I didn't even get paid for that too. It was crazy. Didn't even buy me dinner, bro. It was crazy.
Bruh. What's the handling fee on that, bro? What?
Oh man.
But I'm sure like with girls, you gotta tattoo like some body parts, like they all down their tits done or like
yeah,
one lip or something. I don't know.
it is what it is. It's just work at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What is the hardest thing to tattoo?
Like body part.
Yeah, like your lip, like the inside of your lip, or
Yeah, I mean that's pretty hard, but most people don't really care. It never comes out the best anyway.
yeah.
I'd say probably like a neck or something, you know.
Mm.
Just
What
'cause
about?
just because how you
like-
gotta stretch it and bend them.
Oh yeah. People ever do the palm of their hands? I always thought that would hurt the most.
Yeah, I mean people do. I've never done one. I'm down. I want to do one, but it's kind of hard to find somebody. It hurts from what I'm told. So
Yeah, the ink doesn't really take too out to the hand.
no, a lot of it like fades out.
Yeah.
Some people might stick a little longer than others, but that or the bottom of your foot, you know.
Oh, that would hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a homie who had a used condom tattooed on the bottom of his foot. Yeah, weird.
And people you hang out with, bro.
He was in
One
Big
does his nuts. I use condom on his foot. Like,
He was from the Big Island, bro.
so what is the most common tattoo you gotta do, or that you do?
Skulls and roses. I think those are pretty timeless. I think
Yeah.
if you're a tattooer, you better know how to do skulls and roses, which is funny because I hated skulls and roses when I first started tattooing. I could not tattoo them.
Just learn over time.
Yeah. I'm sorry to anybody I tattooed a skull and rose on in the beginning, man.
What is something that you like? I'm not gonna do that. Like, what would be something you wouldn't touch?
You know, I think like when young kids come in and they're like, "Yo, I want a tattoo on my face."
Oh,
That's when I'm like, "Nah, bro, like, can't do it." You know, I used to say like no to like the hands and stuff like that, but you know, if you don't do it, they're gonna go somewhere else.
yeah.
It's a new day and age, so I feel like as long as it's not a dumb idea, I'll do it because I rather do a good job on it than them go find somebody who's just gonna mess them up.
Yeah.
Definitely, like if they're on their face, I'm like, nah, bro, get out of here. Like, I ain't gonna do that for you. You know what I mean?
One of my homies wanted to do his throat, and the artist decided no, don't do it, and he ended up doing his collar line, which
Yeah.
kind of made sense. Like sometimes you guys gotta save people from their own ideas because, like you said, it's timeless. It'll be there for life, and
Yeah.
sometimes you're not old enough or smart enough to make those choices.
Yeah, it's hard, you know. Like I think you have to go on a piece by piece basis because every tattoo is different, you know. So what's the idea? Who's the person? You know, if it's somebody in their 40s and they want to blast their whole throat, they probably know what they're doing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
who are you to tell them no at that point? You know, but
Yeah. But it's some 21-year-old trying to put fucking Post Malone tattoos on their face. Yeah, you gotta be
look like
like,
6'9" or something. You know, you're like, nah, bro.
yeah. So what are the tattoos that you got that mean the most to you?
Um, I got a lot of crazy stuff, man. I probably say the one on my chest. I have never forgotten on my chest. That's for everybody that I've ever lost, you know. So
Yeah.
actually, I have a tattoo of Colin's face on my leg too, which is kind of funny.
Wait, say that again.
But
Colin, your cousin?
yeah, I have his face on my leg.
What? I didn't know that. Why do you have Colin's face on your leg?
I put his face on my leg one day and I FaceTimed him. And he was like,
You actually tattooed your own leg, his
no,
face.
no. I had somebody
Oh,
tattoo it for me, but
Colin.
yeah.
Why Colin?
Um, he's done a lot for me, you know what I mean? Like ever since I was a kid, he helped steer me in a better direction and stuff like that. I mean, there's a bunch more people that I gotta put on my leg, but you know,
Like your mom.
yeah, I mean, I got her name across my whole rib, you know, so it's
Oh,
like,
okay.
um, but he just done a lot for me, you know what I mean? Teaching me to be a better man in life and stuff like that. So
Yeah, he's definitely a good person, man. It's a trip, bro. Watching all you guys grow up. Louis must be stoked with his boys, you know what I mean? Even his kids, like his daughter, and yeah,
yeah,
it's a trip seeing you guys doing shit in the world.
yeah. I mean, don't stop. Hopefully, it goes a lot further. You know, it will. But
Sure. Yeah. Well, right on, man. Well, I appreciate you for coming on my show. It's been a minute since I got to talk to you, and I'm proud of you, man. It's a trip to see you as a young kid coming up and seeing what you're doing now. And yeah, to have you on and be able to have a conversation with you is gratifying for me, and it makes me feel like I had some kind of passed on knowledge to you when you were a kid, seeing how you trained hard and that kind of stuff. But man, some of these kids that we came in contact with could have went either way, and to see you doing your thing and being successful and trying to better yourself and have the same values is pretty cool. And yeah, man, I'm proud of you, and I think your mom and your family's proud of you. And I know I was talking to one of the doctors that knows your mom and works in the industry with her, and like she runs a lot of stuff what she does, and especially during COVID, I heard she stepped up, and bruh, she's always been a hustler. And I've known her briefly through Taekwondo and stuff, but it's the same mentality, and I'm sure she's proud of you, bruh, and your brother. It's pretty cool to see.
yeah, that means a lot, man. Thank you
Yep. Some Kaneohe boys making moves in the world is good to see, bruh.
for sure.
4-4. All right, man. So on Instagram, where can people find you? And hopefully when you come to Hawaii, like people can go on your Instagram now, check out your stuff, and maybe start lining up some appointments.
Yeah, for sure. My Instagram is just tattoos by Koa. No spaces, no nothing, just straight across. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, that's pretty much it right there. I don't really do like the Facebook or nothing like that. So
That's cool. And you gotta get your gallery, and pretty much your photo book pretty much is all on Instagram. So you can check that out. Any other websites or any other Instagrams you want to shout out?
you can check out my brand that I'm gonna be starting. It's NFR Apparel. Other than that, not really. You know, all the other links are inside of my main Instagram and stuff like that, so you'll be able to see
Perfect.
it.
All right, on. And for us, you go on Boy Band John's Instagram is BBJ8, the letter O8. Go check him out. He has a lot of stuff going on, and he's dropping 808 scenes episodes on his YouTube channel and as well on Olelo. It's a passion project of his, showcasing Hawaii's hardcore scene, which is pretty awesome. Stoked that he's doing that. For us, you can go atbpod.com, Above the Bridge Podcast on Instagram, and Above the Bridge Pod on YouTube. And you can check out all these episodes, and they will also be on Olelo when they get put on there. Let's see. Mine's one is Daddy High. And that's about it, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to your family and your brother. When's your brother gonna fight again?
Not sure right now. Hopefully soon. I know they're trying to work something out, so hopefully.
What's your brother's Instagram? People can check him out.
It's Koa PAGAOA 125.
Right on. And he's fighting out of Vegas from Extreme Couture. That's right.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll see him in the big show, man. That's how you do your advertising. Get him in the UFC and tattoos by Koa on his back.
Yeah, he already does a lot, man. He puts everything on top of his gear, you know, so his shirt and stuff like that. Nowadays we don't do too much of my tattooing stuff, but we're trying to push he puts my brand on top of his gear and stuff like that, so that's cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I should get him on the show maybe after one of his fights. That'll be kind of cool to talk to. Yeah,
he'd be down.
Yeah, get him on before he gets signed, and then he's only talking to Ariel.
Nah, he would do it for sure. But you know, he's already missed the beat. I got episode 44, so that's what's up, Kaneohe.
Yeah, 44. Yeah, that's cool, bro. When he won his fight, was super fun. We actually went to his after party at 44 bar.
Oh yeah,
with your cousins and Louis. Yeah, it was super cool. He won the belt for Destiny, and then we all went there to party with him after, take pictures and stuff. Yeah, it was cool. Nice. Super proud. Well, your guys' family always takes care of each other, and it's cool to see, and like the support that you guys have for each other is pretty awesome. And let's see. I hope you guys have a good Christmas, and hope to see you back in Hawaii soon, man. Maybe I'll get some ink done.
Yep, let me know. I'll be there in a couple weeks. So
I said 49er tat. That's what I want.
Hey, there you go.
Okay, could you do that? Do you do color or just black?
I just do black and gray. But
oh yeah, I might want it.
You should ask Koa to make the Calvin and Hobbes. You know, Calvin peeing on like a Seahawks logo. But
yeah,
Calvin,
I have that right.
Calvin's wearing a Niners shirt.
Oh, where is it?
He already has it. Hey, right there.
Like that guy.
Yeah. Would he be wearing a Niners shirt, peeing over the Seahawks logo?
I'm not putting a Seahawks logo on me, even if it is getting peed on. Frick that noise.
Never mind then, never mind.
Yeah. Right on, bro. Well, I wish you the best, and I hope to have you on in the future and see how far you've come. And yeah, hopefully we'll check you out and have some beers with Louis.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds
That'll
good.
be awesome. All right, man. Well, thank you for coming on our show. And as always, Chaka for the cameras. Right on. Shout out to the Artist Group Network. Aloha.